It's your local high school dropout. This is day number 7 of our video series, Garden Anywhere by Anyone. We have 13 days left till Mother's Day. The next few videos are going to get a little monotonous, but last video I decided to kind of add something into the mix. I have a pile over here of a compost pile that I'm just picking up from around the complex here, that I'm just doing all by hand. Back there is another compost pile that I'm doing with shears and clippers and scissors. And so this is our low tech. This is our by hand. That is our low tech, and then this is our high tech that we used an electric shredder for. I'm kind of going to keep everything in this one because this does come from Reframe Events, which is donating this all from their floral arrangements they use at their events, and we just compost them. So this is where all this material comes from, but everything else we're just going to kind of get going, and I'm going to spend 10 minutes there doing it by hand, 10 minutes here doing it with scissors and clippers, and then probably 20 minutes here. So we've now cut it down to we're only doing 40 minutes. Really quickly, I know in a few videos where I talk about chopping it down, and I talked about water retention and not letting too much airflow go through where it dries it out, but I don't know if I really touched on a lot of it is creating surface and more surface area for microbes to adhere to, and more surface area for these things that we're trying to get to eat this organic matter, to eat it and decompose. So if you think of like a block, and if you cut this block in half, or if you were to paint the block all around, it would all be painted, but then if you were to cut it in half and split it, the two inside would not be painted, and that's just more surface area. And then again, if you were to cut that in half and cut that in half, you could get more and more surface area, and that's what we're trying to do by cutting this all down. And yeah, I'll put up a timer so you can see that we're just going to do 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. I did want to show you this really quick and look at both these both these piles here, and then we'll look at this one like right at Mother's Day and just kind of let it sit here for a bit. But let me grab the camera. In yesterday's video, I sprayed it to see if this will actually retain water. And if we kind of go through there, it does look like it is a little wet in here, so it is actually holding and retaining water, which is good because everything that we want to eat this stuff will need water. It was only 68 degrees here in Utah today and pretty cloudy and even a little bit of rain. So obviously when it starts getting 100 degrees, this is going to dry out quickly. So we definitely don't have really enough biomass here to retain water, but we'll go look at the other one and see how it did. But yeah, if I just spread it through here, you can kind of see a little wet spot here where it is retaining water, and that's the water that the microbes are going to use as they're decomposing, or worms or whatever else can kind of get in this compost pile. So we'll put this all right back there. And this is all stuff that we did by hand, you know, just grabbing stuff and tearing it, all that. We'll continue to do that. This is the other pile that we did with clippers and scissors, definitely retaining more water, and most of that is because it's more evenly cut up and distributed, but you can see it's definitely like a big wet spot there where it's retaining water. And again, that's going to be stuff that everything that we want to eat this we'll use to eat it, and we'll kind of check in on those maybe daily and see how they're doing. So I more or less went foraging and just kind of grabbed little sticks kind of in this complex. And once again, thank you to everybody in this complex for allowing us to use this as a demonstration garden bed. And then pulled weeds. I figured no one's going to care if you pull weeds. A lot of the weeds and the green type stuff is probably going to go in the by hand because it's so much easier to just then, well, I guess that was pretty easy, but as far as getting in the small pieces that we want, a lot of the weeds and stuff is going to, the green stuff is going to go in there. So, you know, there's kind of the greens and the browns, and that can be somewhat of an arbitrary distinction between the two. But obviously the woody stuff holds water a little bit more. The green stuff has higher content with nitrogen, which, you know, microbes really love to eat this stuff. So, you know, there's the pluses and minuses to both. Setting this timer for 10 minutes. We'll go here with by hand first. So that is the timer. Now 10 minutes back over here using clippers and scissors. I'll reset the timer. I kind of tried to do a little mix of greens and browns here and see if I can get this compost pile retaining some more water, since it's definitely at a volume disadvantage compared to the clipper one. But all right, we'll do 10 minutes. Okay, timer went off for this one, so that is 10 minutes here. I'm going to put this stuff that I've kind of foraged and gathered right there, and do last 20 minutes just chopping up this compost berm from all the organic matter from reframe events, and be done with 40 minutes for today.
Again, just chopping up a lot of the leaves and sticks that I see laying on the surface of the compost berm and going from there. After which I'm going to spray the 2 piles with water and the compost berm and check it tomorrow in the evening to see how much water it retained, being that it's going to probably be a hotter day tomorrow, but the piles are also bigger. Thanks for watching day 7 of this demonstration video for Garden Anywhere by Anyone. I'm your local high school dropout. Thanks to Reframe Events, Earth Community Garden and Food Pantry, and the Utah Hidden Garden Tour. Links are in the description.